everyone, and welcome to Crafting with Delonda. It's me again, Delonda, and thank you so much for joining me today. Today, you guys, I am going to be using the tumbler press that I had on my dining room table a few weeks ago. Now, at that time, I told you I had not used it yet. It's the one that looks like this, okay? And today I am going to use it. Now, let me just go ahead and say, I've already sublimated the tumblers. One of them came out fantastic and the other two did not. And I just could not give you the tutorial with the tumblers looking like that. So now I'm going to show you what they look like when I finish. So this is one of them. And I think the image came out really pretty. But if I go around and show you the seam, you can clearly see that I did not do a good enough job on the seam because it should not be that evident. What I did wrong here is that I did not pull the paper tight enough, and I definitely want to try it again. I am going to give it the good old college try. On this one, this is a 17-ounce mason jar. Now this one, the image looks very vibrant and beautiful. I actually love the image, but if you look closely enough, you will see that I did not tape it right here. And so the image is not as clear as it can be. And the mistake I made here is that I should have made the image shorter. So I'm going to try both of these again. This is the third one. I'm not going to redo this one because in my eyes, this one is absolutely perfect. I love this one a lot. So at the end of this tutorial, if you find it helpful, please consider liking the video, subscribing to my channel, and turning on the bell for notifications because I do upload new content every single week. Now, without further ado, let's look at the materials and we will go over to the computer. I will show you where I got the files. I downloaded all of these files from Creative Fabrica, and then I will show you how I size the files in Microsoft Word. If you don't have Microsoft Word, you can also use Google Docs. That is a free app and it is web-based. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. The materials I'm using for this project include this PYD Life Tumbler Heat Press. I'm using sublimation paper, butcher paper, heat resistant gloves. I use Cricut heat resistant tape. I'm also going to use Hippo sublimation ink. All three of these tumblers are PYD Life brand. This is a blue 20-ounce glitter tumbler. It's a skinny tumbler. I'm using a silver 20-ounce skinny tumbler. This is also glitter tumbler. And I'm using a 17-ounce mason jar. All three of these come with straws and lids. My ink is Hippo sublimation ink. I'm also using a Cricut heat press mat. And I'm using one of PYD Life's newest products. It's called a cup cradle for craft. And I'm going to use this to place my tumbler in when I'm placing the sublimation paper on top. Now, my printer is an Epson EcoTank 2760 that has been converted to use with sublimation ink. So I did not use the ink that came with the printer. I actually put sublimation ink inside my printer. Okay, so once again, this is how the tumblers came out the first time. This was the silver one. So this is obviously a mistake. And this is how the mason jar turned out the first time. The colors are nice and vibrant, but I did not do a good job right here. And then last but not least, this was the blue glitter tumbler, and I think this one is amazing. I absolutely love this one. Okay, so without further ado, let's head over to the computer so I can show you how and where I downloaded the files from and how I size my images in Microsoft Word. I am on the Creative Fabrica website, and I just want to show you the 3 images that I am going to use for this tutorial. I am going to use this image right here on the 17-ounce mason jar. And in order to find this file, I went to the search bar and I just typed in 17-ounce mason jar. So I am going to click download. And at the bottom left corner of my screen, I can see that there is a zipped folder there. I'm going to click on that folder. I am going to click extract all. The next file I am going to download is one that looks like this. And this one just says mom, and it has flowers on both sides. I'm going to click download. And I am going to select the file at the bottom left corner of my screen. I am going to click extract. I'm going to browse, and I'm going to also put this one in that same folder. And the last file that I'm going to use is this Mother's Day Floral 20-ounce skinny tumbler. And in order to find this file and the previous one that I just showed, I just typed in my search Mother's Day 20-ounce skinny tumbler. I'm going to click download, and I am going to select the folder. I'm going to click extract all. I'm going to browse. I'm going to go to my Creative Fabrica files and find that folder, Tumbler Tutorial. I'm going to select the folder, and I'm going to click extract. So now I should have all of the files that I plan to use for this tutorial. Now I can close this out, and I don't need this anymore. Now I will say that I am a yearly all access subscriber, so I do not pay anything additional for any files that I download for Creative Fabrica. I will make sure to leave a link below this video so that you can check out their yearly all access subscription, because it is a really good deal. Okay, so I'm going to close this out, and then we will open up Microsoft Word. I am in Microsoft Word, and when I open Microsoft Word, the first thing I see is what looks like a blank sheet of paper that is 8.5 by 11. The first thing I do is go right here to the layout option in the top menu. And when I click that, I have options to make changes to the way my paper looks. I am going to click on orientation, and I'm going to change the paper from portrait mode to landscape. When I do that, the paper looks wider instead of taller. The next thing I do is I stretch the margins all the way out as far as they can go, because I do know that my images are wider than what the margins will allow. So I do that on the left and right, and I also do that at the top and the bottom of the paper. The next thing I'm going to do is click insert, and I am going to insert the pictures that I just downloaded from Creative Fabrica. I'm going to click on insert picture from this device, and I am going to navigate to the folder where I have those documents or those images saved. They are in my Creative Fabrica files, and they are in the Tumbler Tutorial folder. I am going to select this first image, which is the one that I will use on the 17-ounce skinny tumbler. This one comes in at a width of 10.61 and a height of 5.01. And honestly, I am not going to resize this because I think this is sized appropriately, and I'm going to just keep it just like that. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to click out somewhere so that I can start to add another page. Let me right click here, and I will go to wrap text and typed, and I'll just make sure this is, somewhere here so that I can click and hit my enter key a couple of times. because what I really want to do is be able to click at the bottom of the paper. Now I've added an additional sheet, which is what I wanted to do, because I need 3 separate sheets of paper. Okay, so for the next tumbler, I am going to click Insert Picture from this device, and I am going to insert the next one. Now, if you look at these 2 templates, one of these is for a tapered tumbler and the other one is for a straight tumbler. I'm only going to insert the image that is designed for a straight tumbler. I'm going to click Insert. Okay, and there it is right there. Now this one comes in at a height of 8.24 and a width of 9.3. And I am going to double check my sizes. 9.3. Okay, so I am actually going to change the height of this because at the rim of those tumblers, there is a little bit of space that does not need to be sublimated. So what I'm going to do is right click on this file, and I'm going to go to size and position, and I am going to uncheck this option to lock the aspect ratio, and I'm going to change the height to my paper is flickering and I'm not sure why, but I'm going to change the height of this to 7.9. 7.9. Okay, and that's because I don't need it to be that tall. And I'm also going to click wrap text because I do want to have the option to move this where I need it to go. Okay, I'm going to move it back over here. All right, and I think this looks pretty good. I am a little bit worried about this because like it almost looks like it has to be perfect. And so I am a little bit worried about that, but I am going to give it the good old college try. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to hit enter, and I'm going to add one more sheet. That's fine. I'll just add my next image here. So it'll be second. I'm going to click insert picture from this device. And the last image is this one that just has this pink all around it. And I also need this one to be the same size with the height of 7.9. Okay, so I am going to right click on this. I'm going to go to size and position, and I'm going to change the height to 7.9, but I'm also going to unlock the ratio because I need the width to still be 9.3. Okay, and let me make sure that this width is perfect. Okay, I actually think I better make the width a little bit bigger because it's better to have more space than not enough, because then I would have to print this multiple times, and I definitely do not want to do that. Okay, I'm going to right click this, and I am going to choose the tight option. Choosing tight just gives me the ability to move the image around the paper where I want it. Okay, that's all it does. All right, so because really I only have this one word, and no matter which way I put it on the paper, it's the exact same. I really don't need to mirror these images, but I will for my printer settings just to be on the safe side. Okay, so I am going to click File and Print, and I'm going to navigate to my Epson EcoTank 2760 series. I am going to select Printer Properties, and my paper is flickering again. I'm not sure why it's doing that, but I am going to choose my sublimation preset. I'm going to click OK, and let me go back to it one more time and just make sure the print preview option is on, and I am going to click print. Now, once I do that, nothing will actually print. What is going to happen is it is going to give me a print preview, which is what I want. So I'm going to click print. and it's going to let me know that my margins are small. I'm going to select yes. And what I should have is 3 separate images. Okay. So I am good to go. I am going to get my paper loaded into my printer, and everything that I'll do from here will be back on the camera. I realized after I listed my materials that I did not mention this Cricut self-healing mat, this Cricut ruler, and this rotary cutter, but all of my materials will be linked below this video. What I'm going to do is I have my printed image, and I am going to use this ruler to and this rotary cutter to cut away the excess paper that I don't need. Now for this, I am going to get right up against the edge of the image, and you will see that I'm going to have to go over the image multiple times because the blade on my rotary cutter is not very sharp. So I am going to roll over it multiple times. Okay. Just to make sure that it is completely cut away. Okay. And you see I kind of cut it a little bit too much, but it's okay because the paper is white and it should be fine. All right. And I am going to cut away the top also because I don't need any of this. Okay. And I'm just going to get right up to the edge of it. All right, so here is my image for, see my blade? This is my image for the 17-ounce tumbler. This one right here, the mason jar. And what I'm going to do is I am going to just kind of make sure that, you know, it looks right. I'm going to check it from the outside before I actually sublimate it on the inside. Okay, so I think it's going to look fantastic. I'm not going to cut any of this off actually. I think this is going to look really nice. Now I am a little bit concerned about this right here because it's kind of like the same thing that happened on this image, and hopefully you can see this a lot better. So if you look right here, you can see I did not get a good clear image right here because my paper was too tall. My image was too tall. So I'm going to do my best to not let that happen again. And I am going to give it the good old college try. Now, it is recommended that you wipe these down with alcohol to make sure they are clean and that you don't have any lint or any debris or anything like that. So make sure you do that. I am going to use the cup cradle for craft. This is one of PYD Life's newest products, and I'm not using the ruler portion of this at all. I'm only going to use this to hold the tumbler in place while I get it taped down. I do think this is the top of the image. Okay, so let's just get this going, and I'm going to do my very best to make sure that I don't have any of that. I wouldn't call that ghosting. I just needed to be more careful with aligning at the top, and I do think my paper was too tall. So I'm going to do my best with this image this time. I'm going to grab my tape. Kind of wondering if I should tape the top so I don't get that what happened earlier. I probably should. Make sure to move this so you can see it very well. I am going to tape the top. And I'm not going to tape the bottom of this. I think this is sufficient. I honestly do. And since I already have my cup cradle right here, I am going to go ahead and cut my second image out. So let me grab that. It is this image right here that says mom. And so you'll be able to see I am going to cut the excess white off here, and you'll be able to get a good look at how I do this. Now, I'm not going to cut this off. I am going to look at this very carefully and see. I'm going to remove the lid. And I'm going to just look at it from the outside first. Oh, I can see that it's too tall. Okay, I need to cut this down a little bit. Okay, I feel good about this. Let me cut that little piece off. These little pieces off. I really need to get a blade, and I am. All right, so with these tumblers, it's important to make, an allowance for the space at the top right here. Not every tumbler is like that. So with this one, I actually, managed to do a decent job, but I need to be careful. So I'm going to make sure that this is going to fit, and I'm going to pull it as tight as I can as I get this on my tumbler. I think I want to do it this way, even though it really kind of does not matter. Okay, let me get the cup cradle for craft. Okay. Now this does help to have like an extra pair of hands, but I think I took it for granted the first time because I did not pull my image tight enough around the tumbler. So I'm gonna make sure I don't do that this time. I'm gonna make sure I pull it super, super tight. And I'm not going to tape the bottom. I think this is enough tape right here, okay? So now I'm gonna let my tumbler press heat up, and I'm going to move all of this stuff out of the way. The tumbler heat press has finally reached 360 degrees. I am going to take the first tumbler, which is the glitter tumbler, and I'm just going to wrap a piece of butcher paper around it. I'm not going to tape it or anything like that. And I'm only doing this as a protective measure, just so I don't get any ink on my on the inside of my heat pad. And I'm going to press this on 360 degrees for 60 seconds, okay? All right, so the tumbler press does beep when you close it, and it's also going to beep after the 60 seconds is up. Okay, so I'm not going to take it out. I'm actually going to open this, and I'm going to rotate the image. So when I pressed it the first time, hopefully you can see my seam is up. So I'm just going to turn the tumbler so that my seam is basically face down. And I'm going to press it again for an additional 60 seconds. Okay, it's gonna beep again. I'm gonna open this and I am going to remove it. Now it is going to be extremely hot. I can see the sublimated image through the paper. So I'm gonna just place it right here on my Cricut heat resistant mat. Now I do see a little bit of ink on this paper, so I'm not going to reuse it. I'm gonna put this in the trash. And I'm going to grab a second sheet. Now, before I place the second tumbler in here, this one is wider than the glitter tumbler. So I am going to adjust these knobs to make this big enough to hold the 17-ounce mason jar. All right, I am going to open this and rotate the tumbler. Close it and press it again, 60 seconds. And we are hoping that this one turned out well. I think it's good, and I am going to unwrap this for you on camera so we can see what it looks like. All right, let's peel this first one because this one is not hot anymore, and we are going to hope that it is much better than the first time. I hope the seam is not there. I hope it doesn't exist. I did it. I did it. Oh my gosh. I did it. The seam does not exist. Oh my gosh. I can't peel this up. Oh my gosh. Look. Look at this. Look. Oh my goodness. So I did it. I was able to pull it tighter and you don't see a seam. So this was the first time. This was the second time. Look at the difference. I'm so proud of myself. I am extremely proud of myself. Yes, I love it when you're proud of me, but it's better when I'm proud of myself. Do things to make yourself proud. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, so let's see how this one turned out. Hopefully I didn't go too high on the top. Ooh. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I love it. Oh my. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Okay, this is the second one. Look at that. Look at this. It is gorgeous. So if you missed the beginning, remember the first time I sublimated this, I made a mistake. And on the second time, I got it absolutely perfect. I love the way both of these turned out. I am so very excited about how they turned out. I'm super, super excited. These would make such nice gifts for maybe the women in your family, the mothers, if you want to do something for your mom or your aunts or your cousins or your nieces or whomever. These would make fantastic gifts. Now, let me tell you how I feel about this tumbler press, because this is the product of the hour. I love the price of it. I think the price right now is $199 on Amazon. Now that is the Amazon Prime price. And if you're comparing it to the other tumbler presses that I have the first PYD Life Tumbler Press, and that one comes with a 30-ounce heater. This one has the 30-ounce heater built in. I think that's fantastic. The one and only thing that I do not like about this tumbler press, now I don't like the fact that it takes so long to heat up. It takes a very long time, more than 10 minutes to reach 360 degrees. And it had gone for so long that I just stopped counting. But that's the one and only thing that I don't like. I like the price. I like the portability. I like how easy it is to use. I love the fact that there is no beeping. So with those other tumbler presses that I have, there is beeping involved every time you press a button. With this one, there is no beeping. I love that. The one and only thing I don't love is the amount of time it takes to heat up. Other than that, I think it's great. This little, what is it called? Cup cradle. I think this is a nice tool to have, especially if you are crafting by yourself and you need an extra pair of hands to pull that paper tightly. I think this is a nice addition to have in your craft room. I probably would not be able to make them. I have seen other content creators who have made something similar with PVC pipes. I hope that you were able to find this tutorial helpful. If you did, please consider liking the video, subscribing to my channel, and turning on the bell for notifications, because I do upload new content every single week. Now, please remember, everything that I have used in this tutorial will be linked below the video, as well as linked in my Amazon storefront in case you want to pick up or purchase a few of these things. Thank you so much for joining me today, and thanks for watching. Bye. So with my third and final tumbler, I am going to try to do better. I am going to make sure to pull it tight, very tight, and I am going to try to get it right this time. So we shall see. Look at this. Look at this. I love it so much. Look at this. Oh my goodness. I love it.